In 2014, the drivers of the Utica Home Track Series took to the track at Indianapolis Motor Speedway. After a hard-fought event, Skyla Johnson brought her number 29 car to victory lane. However, just before the All-Star race, financial woes put the brakes on the series. Annie Thomas was crowned the champion, and the engines were silenced. However, in 2020, the cars returned to the track for a 9-race tour, and it all begins on a half-mile track in Jennerstown, Pennsylvania. Hello and welcome to Race 1 of the 2020 Utica Home Track Series here at the Jennerstown Speedway. We're back after a long hiatus and are excited to get the engines fired again. Before we begin, let's take a look at some of the changes for the 2020 season. Things are downsized this year. Only 9 races on the schedule, evenly split between short tracks, dirt tracks, and road courses, primarily located in the northeastern United States. Field sizes are also smaller, back to the 25-car grid we had in 2011. New qualifying format for 2020, oval tracks are decided by 2 heat races and an LCQ. Road courses have a 15-minute group qualifying session. There is no locked-in rule, but past champions have a provisional they can use once during the year. We also have a second title running alongside the main championship for part-time racers called the Specialist Cup. Specialists pick a track type and run just those 3 events to decide their title. We've also shortened the races this year and have implemented local yellows for all tracks, so drivers will have to move quickly and can't rely on pit stops and cautions to gain ground. Let's take a look at the track map. Jennerstown's a half-mile paved oval in southern Pennsylvania. 60-lap main event under the lights. It may look simple, but these cars can get pretty racy and can often find themselves in the backstretch wall. This is the first time the series has gone to Jennerstown, which is reflected by the lack of Pennsylvanians in the field, so no one has the hometown advantage. But we've waited long enough. Let's get things rolling. Both heat races in the LCQ were run earlier in the night, and you can catch them on the Ottoman Empire channel, where all 2020 Utica Home Track Series qualifiers will be broadcasted. Let's take a look at the starting lineup. Heat 2 winner William Duncan starts on pole. He was actually our most recent pole sitter from the 2014 Indianapolis race. Specialist Cup driver Daniel Voiles won Heat 1, but had a slower fastest lap than Duncan. Fellow specialist Kyle Schock Jr. starts next to teammate Jeffrey Finguy, and they're followed by veterans Nicholas Guerra and Matt Duell. A pair of rookies, LaPlante and Wright, are in row 4. Patrick Smith and defending Utica Home Track Series champion Annie Thomas round out the top 10. Eugene DeMax starts next to the third and final short track specialist Cody Smart. Fitzwater and Navarro share a row behind them. Then it's rookies Taylor Brian Price and Alexander Rowe, followed by Jack HALLEC and the veteran John Cittadino. Sean Angel and Tyler Thaber round out the top 20. Joseph Petruccelli and Nathan Ormond make their Utica Home Track Series debut, and Trek Togger is the last driver to make the field through the LCQ. Aldra Baranowskis and Casey Nonico also made it via the LCQ, but both drivers wrecked their primaries in the heat races and dropped to the back. 6 drivers missed the show, and they include some big names. Rallycross star and international heartthrob Chris Dodd will have to wait for next week to make his debut, along with rookies Brandon Krasta, Zayden Davidson, and Zach Winkle. 7-time winner Matt Evans is probably the biggest surprise in the list, though many consider him to be on a career decline. Veteran road ringer Joseph Anesto also misses the field. The lights are out, the cars are moving, and I've been waiting over half a decade to say it, but the Utica Home Track Series is back. Green flag flies in Jennerstown. William Duncan is going to lead them into turns 1 and 2. He gets a good run coming out of the corner, but a couple of cars are going to get the wall behind him. I think I see Matt Duell in that green 88. A couple others as well. But William Duncan starting to pull away from the rest of the pack in the early stages. And we have 3 wide racing right behind him. This is a battle for second place. Looks like it's going to sort itself out on lap 2. And Kyle Schock Jr. is going to go up to second place. Kyle Schock Jr., one of the 3 Specialist Cup drivers in the race today, had a good run in his heat race, and he's hoping to do well at these paved circuits. Kyle Schock, related to Eris Schock, who won a race for Jeffrey Finguy Incorporated back in the day. Now that team is Finguy Saitomi Motorsports, which is what the 21 car is running with, so keeping it in the family for the Schock family. But it would be a huge shock if Kyle Schock could win it today in his first career start. And speaking of the Specialist Cup drivers, Cody Smart is going to get into the wall with, ironically enough, Jeffrey Finguy, one of the Finguy Saitomi cars. He's going to drive away, but contact with the wall is going to drop him some spots. This is Cody Smart's first Utica Home Track Series start. He has a bit of experience on some of the short tracks around the country, but nothing in this division before today. Hoping to do the best in that 3-race schedule. But it looks like he might lose a couple of spots on the inside. He was running around 10th place, just on the outside of the top 10. But now dropping through the field as these drivers are going to get to the inside of him. The third Specialist Cup driver is Daniel Voiles. You may know him better as the outside pole sitter. He won his heat race earlier today, and that gave him that outside pole starting spot. Now, Daniel Voiles actually ran some Utica Home Track Series back in 2014 as well. We got a couple of cars loose on the inside right behind him. He ran a couple of races in 2014, but scaling back to just run the limited Specialist Cup Tour. We'll see what he can do. Annie Thomas is his teammate, who's the defending champion, so that team has a lot going for them going into the 2020 season, though they're a little bit late to ride that momentum as Austin LaPlante going to get squirrely in front of him. But right now, Daniel Voiles running around the top 5, dropped a couple spots from the start. In fact, he's losing a couple more now as he's dropped outside of the top 5. Matt Duell in car number 88, we saw him get into the wall early on. Duell already back all the way to the back of the pack. Seems to be having some issues with that car. And oh, Annie Thomas almost had some issues in the 23. The L'Oreal Subaru gets squirrely exiting 2. That's going to be the trouble spot today. These drivers really get a lot of speed coming out of 2. And that could result in a spin if you run out of racetrack, like Matt Duell did earlier. He gets dropped all the way to last place now as Joseph Petrocelli gets around him on the inside. Duell hoping for that breakthrough season. Looks like it's not going to be tonight. Patrick Smith, though, in the 47 is having a good run. He's going to get by Kyle Schock Jr. for second place. Now, Patrick Smith, he has an odd entry point for this series. He got his start as a rally racer up in Canada, making the transition to stock car racing. Right now, it's working out pretty well as the XI Batteries machine is up in second place, trying to chase down the past champion in William Duncan. Kyle Schock Jr. is still there, but these drivers have separated a good deal since the start of the race, as these drivers are kind of running by themselves. William Duncan still out front after 12 out of the 60 laps, and look at that run he's going to get out of turn 2. Picked up several car lengths, and is going to leave Patrick Smith in the dust. Now, William Duncan, as we mentioned, he is the 2013 champion, and considered by many to be one of the best drivers in the sport. Oh! His 17 car of Zachary Fitzwater Sr. is going to hit the wall in the back straightaway. He was running near the tail end of the field. Fitzwater, a supercar racer out of Australia, has a couple of Utica Home Track Series starts, and also ran in the Utica Rallycross Series, where he is a winner there. I believe he won it in England when he attempted. He's running the full schedule in that number 17 car, the Shell V-powered Ford, but right now not having the best of outings at this time. Currently running in the 25th position, but he's hoping to pick things up. It is still early in this race, so you can work your way up to the front, but you don't want to fall too far behind. And whoa! We have issues in front of him as Annie Thomas is going to spin out. Alja Baranowskis is going to get the inside wall and get into the 17 car as well. Looks like everyone's going to keep it going, but we're going to take a look at the replay and see what happened. Alja Baranowskis out of Lithuania making her first start, makes some contact with Angel Navarro, then slides up on track in front of Zachary Fitzwater. It looks like they'll get away scot-free, but the 29's got a little bit of damage. Let's see what happened to Annie Thomas. Just ran out of racetrack, makes contact with Matt Duell, and whoa, looks like Zachary Fitzwater Sr. got very close to clobbering the 23 car. That could have ended her day and been a really messy wreck, but it looks like he was able to avoid her just in time. Annie Thomas going a lap down on lap 17. She is still in the race, and that car has minimal damage, but just to worry if she flat spotted those tires and see if that damage to the back of the machine will affect her or not. But from one champion to another, William Duncan out front. He's got 2 wins to his credit, one during his championship year and one last season at Utica Rome Speedway. He's the pole sitter tonight, and also was the last pole sitter in the series before it ended in 2014. Now we're taking a look at a battle for second place as Kyle Schock Jr. is going to pass Patrick Smith on the inside line and steal that second spot away, exiting turn number 2. A lot of rookies in the field, and a lot of them are doing well tonight. Schock, Smith, HALLEC back there in 4th place. If any of these drivers could chase down William Duncan and take the lead away, maybe steal a win, that will be a huge career boost for these drivers and make them a favorite for the championship this year. Car in the wall, that's Patrick Smith. Smith was running pretty good there. Hope that that doesn't cave in any fenders. He's going to fall back into the clutches of Jack HALLEC. Kyle Schock Jr. is going to attempt to chase down William Duncan, but lap traffic in between them. These two drivers have been having a bit of a scrape the past couple of laps, and it's going to culminate in the 17 car being pushed into the inside wall. Now, no cautions in this series, as we mentioned near the top of the show. So it looks like the 17 car is going to stay to the inside line, but that was some heavy contact with the inside wall. This day going from bad to worse for Zachary Fitzwater Sr. And I'm not sure if he's going to be too happy with the driver of the 29 after this one. He'll work his way back to pit road, and we'll get a look and see what happened. So yeah, it looks like the 29 of Baranowski's hooked him. I know these two were bumping a bit after that contact on the back straightaway when Baranowski got around. Here's on board with the 17, and ooh, heavy contact. Luckily, these guys aren't going at full speed. Cause if this wreck happened at one of the super speedway tracks, that could have been a lot worse. But the 17 car is going to limit back to pit road. They're going to try and get it repaired. Joseph Petrocelli in the 14 car is going to make some contact with the wall. Struggling a bit on the racetrack, but trying his best to work his way through the field. One of 3 drivers from Canada in the field. Patrick Smith, the highest running of them. Sean Angel also in the top 10. But Petrocelli has a ways to go. We're on board with the 72 car right in front of them. This is a battle between him and Alexander Rowe. We have this camera sponsored by the Cityverse, and we're going to take a look and see what John Cittadino sees as we go around the racetrack. Right now, it's a whole lot of that two-tone brisk paint scheme for Alexander Rowe, but you see this track has 3 lanes that you can work with. That high side can get you some momentum, but you don't want to get trapped out there too long. The inside line really works well, diving into the corner, but you cut it close, you get a little bit slowed down. That middle line could be a line for drivers to run to really pick up some spots, but we've seen some drivers work better on the bottom, some in the middle, some underneath. Cittadino's just going to move Alexander Rowe out of the way and steal that spot away. Excellent battle all throughout the racetrack. You see the 24 of Nathan Ormond. He's got a lot of damage on the right side of that Chevy. So it looks like he's been into the wall, and that's been a common story for drivers today, as a lot of them have met up with that turn 2 exit. Ormond, a driver, another one of those drivers that has a very odd background. He's actually a veteran of dirt rally racing. He was in the Utica Dirt Devil series back in the day. Ran all right over there, back into the stock cars, and whoa, he nearly gets the wall again. Baranowski gets the wall behind them, and these drivers at the tail end of the field are having a lot of bad luck. Kyle Schock Jr. having some bad luck of his own, as he's got Annie Thomas right in front of him. He's going to try and get around him on the inside. Hopefully Annie Thomas won't be a huge back marker for the 21. Looks like Thomas will let him go. We have a report from Zachary Fitzwater Sr. That car is totaled. He is out of the race, so he will finish last today. That's unfortunate. So he was hoping for a solid performance to start off the year. 3-wide battle for 3rd place. That is Patrick Smith, Taylor Brian Price, and Jack HALLEC. This is at the halfway point too, as looks like HALLEC's going to get that momentum on the inside line. He steals it away. Smith is going to drop 2 spots in 1 corner. Great job by Jack HALLEC, one of the many Australian racers in the field that's looking to represent Down Under. Patrick Smith will have to reorganize and see if he can get by these 2 once again. It's Taylor Brian Price. We haven't talked about him much today. He's making his debut, driver out of Florida, hoping to enter this race near the end. Well, we're just past the halfway point, and this man has led every single lap so far. That is William Duncan in the 83. We'll be back after these messages here at Jennerstown. Hello and welcome back to the Jennerstown Speedway for Race 1 of the 2020 Utica Home Track Series. 39 laps in the books today, and William Duncan has led all 39 of them. Duncan is on a tear. He's got some lap traffic now, though. That's Trek Togger in the 74. Togger Racing Unit Dodge with Red Bull as the sponsor. Togger's been a bit off pace today. As we take a look at something that happened while we were away, Alexander Rowe and John Cedillo had been putting on a show, and that's going to result in the 72 car getting to the wall, shooting some spark. Oh! We have an issue on the back straightaway. That appears to be Angel Navarro in the by a Toyota machine. Let's see what happened. It was right by John Cedillo, makes some contact, and oh my god. Heavy contact with the infield access wall. That's a very rough angle to hit at. That's where the ambulances enter the racetrack, but oh man. Clips the left front of that Toyota. Let's go on board. This is on the bumper cam, and this is going to be quite the view. Ooh. You never want to see a driver hit a wall like that. They're going to limp that car into the infield out of the way, and he is done. As Angel Navarro climbing out of that vehicle, he'll head to the care center and see if get checked over, see if he's all right. Kyle Schock Jr. in the 21, right now in second place, chasing down the 83, but lap traffic in the form of Trek Togger. Togger was pretty generous to William Duncan. Will he be as generous to Kyle Schock Jr.? Maybe pull a Annie Thomas level of graciousness out on the racetrack. Duncan, I'm not sure if he's saving his stuff or if he's starting to slow down a bit. Maybe he used up a lot of his equipment early on. Kyle Schock Jr. is going to catch up a bit. That 74, though, still in the way. Schock's going to look to the inside. Gets a little loose going underneath him, but it's going to save it. He still has that opening, but it's going to close up as Trek Togger is now trying to get back around the leader. It's a three-car battle, two of them for position. Schock sees a bit of an opening on the inside. Duncan and Togger have been running that middle to high line. Schock is going to get by him as the 74 makes some contact with the wall. Schock is within striking distance of William Duncan, but he's going to slide up the racetrack. Trek Togger is going to go underneath. Contact is made between the lap car and the lead lap car. I'm not sure if Kyle Schock Jr. is going to be too happy about that, but Schock is going to get by for now. William Duncan, though, brings it to the bottom, puts it in the overdrive, and he's going to start to pull away. Battle for position between Sean Angel and Jack HALLEC. Sean Angel we have not talked about too much today, but he's been consistently inside the top 10. Having a good run for 5th place, so the 58 car has a bit of experience at this racetrack in some other lower divisions, so very excited to come back here. He had some success with some wins in the late models. But now in the stock car, looking for a great start to the season. One of our veterans in the field, Sean Angel, been racing since, I want to say 2012, he made a couple starts. That Canada dry machine running high and dry up near the front. He's got fellow Canadian Patrick Smith to chase down right in front of him, who's was good early on, but has started to fade. Work our way a little bit further back. This is Tyler Faber in the number 89, making his first Utica Home Track Series start. This guy's got a bit of a reputation on the short track circuit, a bit of a fiery personality. So we'll see what kind of antics he gets into this year. Well, it looks like the 6 car is going to get into the wall, and Faber is going to find himself in the 8th place position as he gets by him. Time is starting to run out as he has to chase down the drivers in front of him. William Duncan, heavier lap traffic. Nathan Ormond in front of him nearly gets into the 83. Duncan's going to keep it going, though, and that nearly ended the race. I can see William Duncan's life flash before his eyes. But that ill-handling number 24 car is going to finally go a lap down. And now he has another ill-handling car in front of him. That's Alja Baranowskis. This race is not over for the drivers behind them if this lap traffic causes problems. But the 83 car looks like he's got some good equipment underneath him. He's going to try and work his way underneath. Moving a little bit further back, Austin LaPlante in the 48 making his first start in the Utica Home Track Series, but not his first attempt. He attempted the Myrtle Beach finale back in 2013. However, he did not make the race. He's confident, though, this year. Myrtle Beach is at the end of it. He wants some redemption, but this track is very reminiscent of Myrtle Beach in a way. So LaPlante doing well today in 6th place, passing Jack HALLEC, who that 51 car has really fallen off in the late stages. He was as high as 2nd place, as high as 3rd place when we were at the halfway point, but I think he used up too much of his equipment. He's starting to drop through the top 10. Sean Angel's caught the lap car of Annie Thomas. This will allow Austin LaPlante a chance to strike. We're getting close to the end there, and Kyle Schock Jr. is driving the wheels off that thing. Gets by Nathan Ormond, but Ormond's going to try a crossover move on the inside line. Alger Baranowskis has been lapped by William Duncan, so this is looking pretty dire for the 21 machine. He's going to have to try and get around these guys with relative ease, but he's going to get the wall. Right in front of him, though, I see Alger Baranowskis is racing the 83 car, trying to get her lap back. And now the 21 car has fallen to the clutches of Taylor Brian Price. Now, if Price gets to racing the 21, I think that's going to be the end of the show for these guys, and that's going to be William Duncan with the win. But let's see what happens here. Lap car in front of him, rival competitor behind him. Kyle Schock Jr. is not liking the situation right now. Duncan is being held up by the 29 car, though, ahead of him. Looks like Baranowskis is not letting the past champion go, as the 95 car is going to basically drift it through the corner. Still maintaining his ground on the 21. Ormond's going to get out of the way. I think maybe the flagman had something to say about that. And now Price looking to the inside. Can he steal second away with just 2 laps to go? Whoa! The 95 car gets loose again, and Schock's going to keep the position. Duncan racing with the number 29, but it's costing him a lot of time. White flag is in the air. Can the 21 car catch him on this final lap? Looks like the 83 car is going to get to the inside of Alger Baranowskis. I'm not sure if he has enough time. Baranowskis in the wall. William Duncan going to get by. He's going to make it through the final corner. He's led every lap today, and he'll lead the final one. William Duncan wins at Jennerstown. No one could touch the champion today. William Duncan dominates at Jennerstown. This is Duncan's 3rd career victory, and he led it flag to flag. The 2013 champ shows the field that he still got it, and he's going to be a threat for 2020. Let's take a look at the results. William Duncan takes home the win, with Kyle Schock getting a nice leg up for the Specialist Cup. Taylor Brian Price ran a solid race, and Ontario natives Sean Angel and Patrick Smith round out the top 5. Jack HALLEC, Austin LaPlante, and Tyler Faber have strong top 10 runs. Daniel Voiles finishes 9th after starting outside pole, and Nick Guerra rounds out the top 10. DeMax and Wright both had clean debuts. Cody Smart has some ground to make up in his title hunt. Finguy and Cittadino both had underwhelming days, and fellow wall taggers Petrocelli, Rowe, Nonico, and Duell cap off the lead lap cars. Alger Baranowskis had a messy debut, rounding out the top 20 1 lap down. Nathan Ormond, Trek Togger, and defending champ Annie Thomas also ended the day a lap down. Angel Navarro had that big crash in the second half, and Zachary Fitzwater Sr. finishes out the field after contact on the front straightaway. Here's the top 10 in points. Not much different from the race results, but William Duncan's point hoarding gives him a nice 5-point advantage on his nearest full-time competitor in Taylor Brian Price. Kyle Schock sits 2nd in points, but he won't stay there for long, as his next race is race 6 at Monadnock. He does have a comfortable 7-point lead on Voiles in the Specialist Cup, however. That does it here in Jennerstown. Next race, we'll be heading north to our only stop over the border as our drivers tackle the first road course of the year, Canadian Tire Motorsports Park. This has been a production of the Utica Home Track Series. If you liked what you saw, subscribe and hit the bell to be notified of upcoming races. Also, be sure to subscribe to the Ottoman Empire to see every qualifying heat and group session. Thank you for watching. We'll see you in Canada.